doesn't feel like we're getting this shed done. Day 32.
Little minor setback, guys. We attempted to put a desk together.
My desk.
We got it
The
put
main
together.
reason for the solar shed.
It's put together, but
It doesn't do the one thing it's supposed to, which is go up and down. And so now it's too low to be a sitting desk and too low to be a standing desk. It's like a
it's not
sit on a
even
pillow
desk.
on the ground. No, it's too high for that. So I don't know, it's just a chunk of wood sitting there, not doing us any good
No.
and making me angry.
Guys, he's not in a great mood.
I'm not.
So we're going to keep this short. We're just going to cut our trim for our door. That's it. That's all you get today.
We've left a voicemail with the company.
Few choice words. No, we were nice.
We'll see what happens. Right now, it looks like one of the legs just doesn't go up and down.
Yeah. Also, I can smell the buck from here.
Yeah.
My goodness. This is why we will never keep a
He's
buck.
a handsome man, but boy does he smell.
Ugh. Never keeping a buck on our property. I'm gonna be glad when he's gone. Anyway, back to our trim.
Yay.
We're just gonna cut it, and
Yay,
it may
door
be
frame.
it may be a silent film from now on. It's okay. I love you. Take a drink.
I love you too.
Safe house. All that can't be seen in the daylight. Just in our hearts. When we met, we just fit right. Now we're too busy fighting all fights. Living the dark. And I know we're both thinking, but we never say. It's not quite how we want it. It doesn't matter if you talk about it and I talk about it. Yeah, we know it's not quite how we wanted it.
Change of plans, guys. This day is not going well for us.
We're over 2.
No, not really, because
No,
we
it's-
did cut the pieces for the trim on the door
Right.
the correct size.
But here's
So
the
we have
thing.
problems.
Here's the thing. We promised the kids that we would watch a show in here tonight all together
On the bed.
the big bed. But we know from yesterday when we stained the windowsills that our eyes will be burning and
Yeah.
we will be gagging if we don't let the stained air out. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to stain the pieces. Well, we should probably explain our issue with the doors.
Okay, here's our other issue with the door. Our walls next to the door frame go like this.
Mhm.
It's a handmade house.
And we didn't cob all the way to the edge of the white, so we're trying to fill the space.
In retrospect, I would have just rather cobbed this, but we didn't do that.
Right.
So we're putting our trim.
So the problem is when we put the trim on, you can still see some of the bucking behind it, the original bucking that we used to mount the door in place, because we didn't cob over.
Right. So we're gonna stain that. But we're not doing it tonight because we don't want to die in here tonight.
Because we're going to stain it so that when the other piece is on, it'll just kind of all look like we planned it.
Yeah.
That's one big thing.
It won't be as noticeable.
No. We won't notice it after
I'm gonna notice it, and it's
Well.
really gonna bother me. But that's beside the point.
But
It's
anyway,
a shed. It's a shed.
we know that if we stain this and then we stain those and we put it on, we're going to be like,
We will not be able to be in here.
Right.
So we're gonna do it in the morning. But to fill that time, welcome to the segment called Frequently Asked Questions with Jonathan and Ashley.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Ashley.
We're here to answer all your questions.
About flooring and linseed oil.
Yes, we've had a lot of questions about why the heck are you wearing a respirator? Because isn't linseed oil non-toxic?
It is non-toxic. However, when I did these ceiling panels months ago, if you remember in that video that I'm going to put
And that was
right
just
there.
one coat.
Or is it here? Anyway, yes, when I put the linseed oil up, one coat on the ceiling, it only took me like an hour and 40 minutes, and I was sick for 3 days.
Like to her stomach.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, part of that probably has to do with the fact that you were up near the ceiling, you were trapped with all those vapors.
Right,
But either way, it did not agree with you.
and this was a large amount of linseed oil that soaked into this floor. We're talking like more than half of a 5-gallon bucket on the first coat.
Well, yeah, probably 7 to 8 gallons of
Yeah.
linseed oil.
In this, So I wore a respirator because I knew I was gonna get sick. It is not toxic. It needs to air out. It smells like garbage. It's awful.
Some people like the smell.
I like it in small doses,
Right.
but when it's this concentrated, oh my goodness. So
Right. So it is non-toxic, but it still can like mess with you short term during that the point where you're laying it down and it's gonna dry out.
it even burned my eyes a little bit. Like it was really strong.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Lots of questions about the oil versus mineral spirits and the different ratios.
Right. And if you look up how to seal an earthen floor, you will find 50 million different kinds of ways to do it.
Yeah.
So I just picked here and there, like this one turned out good, this one turned out good, what did they do? Now some people, it's always different. Every article I read, it was different. Everything I watched, it was different.
Right.
So some people, most people, started with straight linseed oil. Now, some people mentioned you should have done like half linseed oil, half mineral spirits first because it penetrates. Yeah, and that's what you would do with wood.
Okay, yeah.
And I went back and forth on if I should do that or not, but I didn't. Because most people that I read did linseed oil and then they cut it every time.
Right. And I guess, I mean, this is a lot more porous than a piece of wood.
Right.
So maybe you don't necessarily need the mineral spirits on that first layer because it's
Yeah.
going to soak in no matter what you do.
Yeah. Some people even cut like more and more mineral spirits in, and then that final coat they just put
It's all
mineral
mineral.
spirits.
Right,
Which I'm like, why would they
Because
do
we were
that?
talking about doing 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100.
Right.
And we never got past 50.
No.
And it
was great.
Yeah.
Like I just stopped putting the oil on when I could see that it was sitting on the surface.
Right. And we've already, we've put water on it.
I did. I put a drop of water on it,
Uh-huh.
let it sit for 5 minutes, never seeped in. So,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you spilled water yesterday.
I did. Whoops.
And it just cleaned right up with a
I
paper
just
towel.
wiped it off and it was totally cool.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
I think what we did was perfectly fine.
Now, can we talk about wax?
Yes.
Because
Some people
we
are
did
worried about
wax.
the wax. We have waxed in the guest room and part of the office because we ran out.
Right, so we tried to get where we knew the desk would go and where we knew the bed would be. Because
Let's
those
not talk
are
about the desk.
because those are the only things that really we needed to have finished before we can move on.
Right.
Because we can always come back and wax the area we walk on anytime we want. But it's a pain to move stuff, especially in this small of a space. It's so
Right.
tiny.
So priority was the guest room because the bed was coming and we wanted to get that in there.
So what did you think of the wax? I don't really feel like it did anything.
It feels slightly different
Yeah.
when you sweep.
Like, I wonder if maybe we should have done more than one coat.
Probably,
Or if we
but
should
the
have had
bed.
a better buffering system. Buffing system, not buffering. We're not talking about the internet. We're talking about buffing.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know.
Let's say
I'm
buffing
not
one more
sold on the wax yet because I don't notice a huge difference.
I didn't really think it did anything.
But we could try doing multiple coats in here and see if there's a difference. We just didn't need multiple coats in the guest room because the bed covers 98% of
Basically the entire circle. So no one's ever going to be walking on it, and the floor's already hard enough because of the oil penetration. Should be fine.
Yeah. Question number 3. Why aren't we seeing more of the inside? Because we're going to do a huge reveal at the end of this, and we want it to all be a surprise. We'll show you little bits here and there.
And so you see a snippet of maybe what the bed looks like or what the desk might look like, but we really want to save all the little design details and the finish part for the very, very end. We don't want to show the finished inside because we still have a lot to do on the outside.
Right.
And I think the inside is going to be really special, and it's going to be really cool to see it all done. But we don't want to show you that and then go do the outside because then you may not keep watching.
Question number 4. Why don't you hook up gutters to your roof and catch water?
Guys, we will get to it.
I think we've been over this before, but for those of you who are new, we can't pay for everything all at once.
Oh, we could, but then we'd be in debt. So we're
Yeah.
trying not to be in debt. We're
Right.
trying to pay as we go.
This whole homestead is trying to be debt-free as possible. So we will get to water catchment at some point in the very near future.
Also, I will say, the whole like water catchment thing is all going to be kind of dependent on
House location.
a whole lot of other, like we could just throw a rain barrel in the corner. We could totally do that.
But
And we might like for the front gutter.
Right.
Because it's tiny.
There will be a small one there.
But for like the roof of the entire solar shed, we've got to decide how it's going to be a pretty big container. So it's like, do we tie that into our main system? Is it separate? Where is our main water catchment going to be? Where are we going to store all that water? Because we're talking about storing thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons eventually.
Yeah.
And that all is going to play into where the house goes and where the berms and the swells go and where other buildings go on the property. It's like a puzzle that we've got to piece together, which we got our final design plan from Rudy. He's our permaculture guy. He's helping us like organize and design and plan all this stuff. So we just now, like literally, like just now kind of know where we might be able to put water storage.
Yeah. Long story short, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it already. Jeez. Y'all think this all just magically happens.
Guys, these are mesquite trees, not money trees. Was that a dad joke? Question number 5. How many popsicles have you eaten out of the freezer?
I've only eaten one. How many have you eaten?
A few.
Okay. That's all you need to share.
I think it's been 3.
Okay. That's not bad.
I think 3 though.
You know what I think we need to do?
What?
You need to take some of those coffee ice cubes that you made and go make an afternoon ice chat. I think that's what we need.
It's heaving.
Oh, jeez. I think it's time to wrap it up then.
Guys, sorry we didn't finish our project, but we'll get to it tomorrow because we do not want to die tonight.
There's always tomorrow, guys. Always tomorrow.
We'll see you then.